All right, welcome everybody to the Sunday night chart chat. Little bit of an update for the markets here right now. We got a rough week in the markets last week. I think actually things might be stabilizing. We're going to go into the charts in just a few minutes. So the format for tonight is this. I kind of want to do a quick recap of kind of our philosophy of finding these stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside. Because I'm looking at our webinar, the slide that you have up on the page right now. This is something that it looks like I covered this back in December, and there's actually a link to the full webinar in the video description below. Which also in the video description you have a link to our Discord, the Telegram, the free Telegram, I should say, and our website to get on our email list, all that good stuff. But it was back in, I think, November, December. I did a webinar which kind of explained our philosophy of what it is that we look for in finding these stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential, and how you can make some real money, including what we call the fast lane strategy, which was very interesting, which was a way to parlay where somebody could really turn $1,000 into $1 million. I know it sounds crazy. This is not hype. This is not like some, get rich quick scheme, infomercial thing. Although I'm actually a fan of those guys, but no, it's actually in reality. I'm going to show you how people, could have done it and probably have done, because, just in the last couple of, I don't know, in the last month, I've gotten dozens, well, maybe not dozens, but over a dozen emails from people saying, wow, you've changed my life, this, that, I've made, $1 million, $600,000, starting with 20,000, 30,000, 2,000, whatever the numbers were. So people have made a lot of money with some of these stocks. But I'd like to see if any of you guys have actually done this fast lane strategy, which involves parlaying multiple 10 baggers. So you make 10x with one stock, you parlay that into the next one, and you do that 3 times in a row, and the numbers can be staggering. So I'm gonna run through that in a second. Let me just say hello to everybody joining us right now. By the way, before I even get started, I should, of course, let me run that disclaimer again. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell securities. These are all very high-risk securities, stocks, which could lose. You could lose all your money, right? These are very high risk. You've seen just in the last week, we've had a bunch of stocks that are down 50% just this week. Now, of course, that's down from, they ran up 50x or 10x. But this week, a lot of names are down 30%, 50%. Some of our stocks, and of course, Tesla, many other stocks. But yeah, these are very high risk stocks. This is not, for, let's just put it this way. This is not for people who want to, sleep well at night, or you should only put money that you can, you could afford to lose. Again, we're talking about clients of Wall Street reporters, so we're compensated by these companies. This is not an independent opinion. We're not here to give investment advice. Use your common sense. Okay. So let me just pop into here. We do have a, just so you know, if you're interested, I'll explain later. We have a premium product, which is, if you click the join button for $10, basically you get to watch these videos that I'm doing, right? These chart chat videos. Those are really for members only for now. That come on YouTube until they go into members. They're pulled off YouTube right after we're done. So essentially, members lets you watch the videos. At some point, it'll be just members only to watch them. And you can also do the chat during the videos. And also for our CEO live streams, those chats, the live chats are for members only, because it cuts down on all the nonsense. So, and for $99, what you get is, and that's a big difference, 10 times more. But what you get there is you get access to, we give you the preview of, the stock that we're going to be introducing next. So you get kind of in on the ground floor. We do have a new stock we're going to be introducing this week. Actually, this is going to be announced tomorrow around 9:45 a.m. or so on our premium for the platinum members. It's going to be on the Telegram channel and also on their YouTube page. So if you're a member, you'll have access to that. I think it's a great opportunity. It's a stock that's around, let's just say it's in the 20-cent range. I think it has a very, very clear shot to be a 10-bagger, but easily a 3x just the next probably 4 to 6 weeks, like some of our others. All right, so enough with that nonsense. Let me just say hello to everybody. NC Smith, okay, I think he was commenting. Okay, welcome to Corey Grant. Welcome to Dipti Lala. Okay, Corey, not newest. Okay, Corey. Okay, so here's the thing. If you join the Telegram, it's not really like set up between you. Basically, you have to email. So just email jm@wallstreetreporter.com, jm@wallstreetreporter.com. Put in your YouTube name and your email name, and you'll get the link, the Telegram. Wow, it's Canadian. It's okay. So again, same thing. So just jm@wallstreetreporter.com. Give me your email name and your YouTube, and I'll email you the link. Right now, somehow it's the Telegram and the YouTube, but they're not communicating. Sorry about that. But thank you for joining. Let's see here. Green week. Things are actually looking pretty good right now. So Todd, hello. Right. So he empty desires. Yeah. So here's the thing. Like listen, everybody's correction. I've been talking about correction. That we're due for one. There's always corrections. The problem is I don't like it when there's too many people talking about the same thing. Like everybody's saying, okay, it's good. And I think I talked about the last live stream. There's just too many people talking about this. Oh, the market's going to crash. It's a correction. It's a crowded trade. The market never crashes when everybody expects it to. It just doesn't happen. It's, right now there's just too many people who are cautious. So I think it's going to be a little while. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Look at this. Here we go. Here's not only is okay. So this guy must be legit, because if he's paying $100 or I guess 150 Canadian. By the way, that currency translation, don't blame it. It's YouTube. I mean, it's supposed to be like 20%, right? Canadian dollar to it's YouTube. So don't blame us. We're not, we're getting the $99. So here we go. Here's a real guy. 20 grand into 400,000 with CBDT. He's up 20x. So are you still in? Is that marked to market, or that's what I'd like to know. Is that marked to market? Because that went up 50x. So let's see what's going on. Okay, so again, if you want to join the talk, if you want to join the thing, there's a button underneath the video which says join, subscribe, whatever. So press the join button and it'll give you an option, $10 or $99, whichever one you want. Okay, Dwight. How do we receive the preview via email? Both for now. You're going to get the Telegram on Telegram. So again, email me your thing, your Harborside. I saw you, and also your email. I'll put you on the Telegram thing. jm@wallstreetreporter.com. Sorry about it again. It's right now. It's manual. Yeah, listen, I'm holding Doc. I like Doc. I think he sold. That's not correct. People are saying that. The numbers I saw are actually not. It's a misinterpretation. Let's see. Visby, yes. Visby is going to be on. When are they going to be on? Wow, they should be on soon. They're going to be on soon. Trip to the moon. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Okay, so I'm going to jump into the charts. We're going to talk about Tesla, GameStop, Bitcoin, NASDAQ. Those are like the things that are driving the markets right now. But first, actually, I want to do a quick recap. I want to do a quick recap of our strategy, because we have a guy here who's pretty much done it. We just said we have a guy here who's the guy? What's his name? Where is Rohit? Okay, I'm gonna put up. Okay, so here's a guy. Okay, so Rohit. He's a real person. It's not just me saying it. And we have. By the way, the people that that I've heard from saying, "Hey, I've made X money in this stock and that stock," with whatever. The people who actually take the time to write in is like a tiny percentage. It's like in the radio business, nobody listens to radio anymore. But there was a statistic which was that for anybody that calls in, there's like 100,000 people listening, or 10,000, whatever the number was. So any of these shows that have people actually calling in, for every person that actually picks up the phone and dials, there's like 10,000 people who are just listening. They're not gonna, they're too lazy to pick up the phone and dial in. Hang on a second. Let me just turn on. Okay, my battery was running out. So let's go into. So speaking of which, people who actually take the time. I'm going to actually say a thank you to our official cigar sponsor. We have two. We have the Stock Mafia here, and Tony Da Vinci. Here we go, Tony Da Vinci. Wait, where's Tony Da Vinci? Tony, why is this not coming up like this? Wait, how do I do this? I see. Okay, there we go. It's a scroll. It's a scroll. There we go. So we got Stock Mafia, Tony Da Vinci. Thank you for sending in those great cigars. I'm going to maybe light up this Davidoff here. Phenomenal. They were very well packed. And thank you for the nice note from the Stock Mafia and from Tony Da Vinci. You guys are a class act. All right, so let's get into the thing here that's important. All right. Okay. Let me disappear from the screen. No, how do I do this? Okay. And here we go. Okay. So again, I'm gonna run through this real quick. What's the kind of our formula for finding stocks? How do we basically decide which stocks to bring onto our platform? Next super stock or the discovery day? Slight differences, slight nuance between the two. And how do you basically make 10x to 100, 10 times to 100 times your money? Is this a scam or is it real? Well, you're already seeing it. It's it's apparently there's people who have made, well, at least you see one guy here right now who's up 20x, which is Rohit, who's actually just subscribed as well. I'm going to put this up on the screen for now. All right, and I'm going to rip through these real quick. Okay. So here, actually, I want to talk about this kind of strategy first. Can you turn 10 grand into 1 million in 2 trades? Or even 1,000, whatever the number is. I mean, 10 grand, I would say, is kind of, you want to start with that. I mean, $1,000 is a little low. Okay, here's how somebody can actually have done it. And this is, again, these slides are from December, so this stuff is a little bit outdated. The numbers are much more impressive in the last couple of months, but this will give you an idea. Okay, so last August 2019, that's 16 months ago, we introduced Cytodyne at 50 cents. The stock ran up to $10.01 this past June, July. So if you would have started with 10 grand, put all your money into that, you would have been up to $200,000. 10 grand would have been 200 grand. Now you could have parlayed that again, because right around that time we introduced CloudMD, which has been one of our big winners. You could have then bought CloudMD at 50 cents. That's the Canadian symbol. DOC at 50 cents. And that ran up in November. Again, this slide is dated to November. It was a 5-bagger at that time. So you would have basically turned, 10 grand to $1 million in 2 trades, just those 2 trades. 10 grand became 200 grand, the 200 grand became $1 million. But it gets even better. Imagine if in November you took that $1 million and you would have put that into CBDT. I think at the time, November 8th, what was CBDT? If any of you guys have the thing, I believe it might have been under 10 cents. So hold on a second. So CBDT, again, if anybody on the chat, if you guys can look it up, I can't pull up the thing right now, but what was the price of CBDT around November 10th? If it was a dime, maybe 8 cents. Now imagine if you would have done a third parlay, you would have gotten out of Doc, put that money into CBDT. It's staggering because CBDT hit $2.50, right? So you would have been up to 25x. So you could have turned that into 25. It would have been $25 million basically. Did I do my math wrong? Yeah, it would have been $25 million as of the peak last week. So this week it would have declined. I'm sorry. You'd be down to only 12 million. Okay. By the way, I'm going to talk about CBDT. I think that stock is going to make a comeback. So you can see the value of parlaying. Now, one thing I want to say is, I think that, look, we've had a lot of these 10 baggers, 5 baggers, 20 baggers, 50, etc. Well, not a lot of 50 baggers, only 150 bagger so far this year. But the main thing is this, right? I think in order to really be able to do this like parlay strategy and to really go, balls out, excuse my language, I'm trying to, but yeah, if you want to go really you really need to pull your principal out. As soon as the stock pops, let's say, you put in 10 grand, you're up 10x, you're up 100 grand, or up 5, you're up 50 grand. Sell 10 grand worth of stock, get your principal out. So that way you can sleep at night. You're not worried about it. Then it's free money. You're playing with the casino's money. Well, it's not a casino, but you know what I'm saying, right? You don't want to be playing with scared money. You want to be playing listen, the more you're disattached, I think it's the thing about, I think, making money with anything is, if you're scared, if you're too attached to it, you're not going to make it. You have to be just relaxed. You got to be really relaxed and be able to sleep at night, and just don't give a crap what happens. And when you have that attitude, that's the irony. When you have that attitude, that's when you can make these massive wins. That's right. So here's the thing. By the way, so when we talk about these 10x, 50x, these numbers, yeah, I mean, this is all optimized. I'm not saying, listen, if anybody can actually time these things perfectly and it can parlay one to the next 100% accuracy, it would be amazing. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's done it, but the odds of doing 3 in a row that you're going to hit, hey, it's like, why do they call it a parlay, or what do they call it? A trifecta, quintet, whatever they call it in the horse racing racetrack thing. Why do they have these massive pads? Because the odds are they're not. Then it's not easy. I think with our stocks, it's a lot easier than betting on horses. But and we've definitely seen it. Don't fall in love with one stock. By the way, here's one thing I got to say is, don't fall in love with any stock. It's not personal. Don't get all crazy with these. These are it's just a vehicle. It's a stock. You buy it, you sell. Don't get attached to it or whatever. You make money, you lose, whatever it is. Don't get all into. There's some of these stocks, they develop cult, too much of a cult, a little bit too much. It's then people get too attached to it, and they lose kind of their perspective about their objectivity and all that good stuff. So don't do that. Again, this is, these are all just stocks. All right, so I'm giving you an example of a parlay in 2 trades, right? Again, this person could have turned this 10 grand into $25 million, 25 million, if they would have parlayed in November into CBDT. And again, so I'm giving you another example. 1,000 here. Okay, you could have done the same thing with $1,000. So if you want $1,000, if you bought CY, Cytodyne, Doc. Oh, here we go. Here's an example. Okay. Oh my God. Here is the. I'm sorry, I didn't review the slides. Bad homework. November 8th, CBDT was a nickel. And here, this slide was dated December 8th. So, and the stock went to 30 cents. Wow, you would have been up 6x. You would have been up 6x. You could have, you would have made, and then you could have now here's the problem. If you would have gotten, here's the thing with the strategy, right? I did this is a slideshow dated December 15th, looks like. So if you would have parlayed, if you would have gotten out of CBDT at 30 cents, you would have been, wow, I'm a genius. I'm up 6x. I'm like God's gift to mankind. You'd have sold at 30 cents and bought Red Light Holland. You've done very well. I mean, that stock went up, was 3x in like a week. Okay, in a week, you'd have tripled your money. You would have been a genius. But then CBDT, of course, which is EPW, that's the American symbol. Then, of course, it just went up 50x from there, 50x, or actually, this is the American, so 40x. So, sometimes if you switch these horses, that's kind of one of the risks you take. This is the worst part. The worst part is not so much that you're going to lose your money. The worst part with this type of parlaying strategy is that you're going to jump into the horse, which is a slower horse, and you're going to get the FOMO as the other one takes off. So, it's not everybody can do this. Look, the reality is, most people, they're involved in multiple stocks. They're probably in, I don't know, 5 of these names or 10 of these names and whatever it is. So, but I'm sure somebody's done this. I'm sure at least one person has done this thing. Somebody's made a lot of money. So, okay, I'm going to rip through these real quick. This is dated in December. And I always mention, I know that we have, what is it, Philip? Philip has on our Discord channel. By the way, if you want to join the Discord, the link is in the video description. Philip has a spreadsheet where he kind of does a thing, which is, what if you would have gotten in, what the stock is worth. What is missing, though, is he doesn't have the subsequent high, which I think is a better indicator. He basically does a mark to market, which shows you where it is now. But the subsequent high is, hey, what did the stock do? What was the absolute high right after we announced? And look, a lot of times, most stocks we introduce increase pretty much right afterwards. Like even GLBC last week, I mean, it had a terrible week this week, but the day we announced it, the stock was up 70%. We had a couple of others. The day we announced them are up double or whatever it is. And a bunch of others have done. Okay, so Cloud. Okay, so this is, again, so you saw Cytodon was up 20x. Doc 5x. What the date of this was? I think it did a little bit. I think what up another. I think did it hit $3? I don't know. This is the US. So yeah. See, again, this is an outdated chart. This is, as you can see, dated December. The stock was only 30 cents. It's amazing. You could have bought CBDT at what? 8 cents in November. If you would have gotten out of Cloud. By the way, I like Cloud. I'm not, these things is not like say, hey, sell this stock. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all. It's just about, hey, if you can parlay, why not? Leave some money in them. Trip. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about this. The tagline on top. That's the wrong number. That's not 1,700%. It's it's only 300% in 7 days. So disregard what's on the top of the page. The IPNFF was 1,700%. So we introduced this I don't know, a nickel, 2 cents, 35 cents in a few months. Next Tech, another winner from last year, from 50 cents to what is it, $7 US. $10 Canadian. Logic, this is actually done. This is again outdated. This hit $14 shortly thereafter, so it would have been a 4x. The stock is down. I think it's actually going to be one of our big winners of the year. Fans, again, this is an outdated chart. So we introduced this at 22 cents, and it went to $2.50. So it is a 10-bagger. I'm sorry, the number I have on this, our little slide, our little thumbnail here is wrong. Sometimes look, I don't really pay attention to these. 900% of fat. What difference does it make? But yeah, so Fans is actually a 10-bagger. Sorry, it's been a long week. So fans is up. Fans hit, what is it, 250? I think it was. No, not 250. I'm sorry. No, it was 220. I think it might have been 225. So it would have been literally at 10x. We've had so many of them. Peak, of course. Again, this is outdated. We introduced it 40 cents. Was it recently $3? So almost 9x, 8x. Visby, again, this is December. It's up, another 5x. I think 90 cents was the recent high. So yeah, 5-6x. ESE, sorry, I really apologize. This chart is definitely outdated. So we introduced this at 30 cents. This week it hit, what is it, $4 and change, $4. So that's a 12, 15x, whatever the number is, 1,500%. Here's another winner, P Energy. That's a mining deal. It was up. I think it's actually, this one's gone up more since then. And this, again, this is a little bit outdated, showing stocks that doubled right after we introduced them. So by the way, so what we're doing now, because like I want to kind of put, not make sure things don't get too crazy. Instead of just, and again, I want to, like, I've gotten complaints, everybody saying, oh my God, the day you introduce things run up so much, it looks like a pump and dump, or people leak it out. So what we're doing now is this. If you want to know what the new stock is going to be, you could be like, you can subscribe, you become a paid subscriber. So not everybody's going to pay $99. I really hope not too many people do it, to be honest with you, because, I don't want these stocks to jump up to double in a day. That's not normal. I mean, sure, they might be undervalued when we introduce them, but the normal thing is they might go up 20%, 25%. Then the CEO does the interview, the presentation, then it could double or whatever. So, but I don't want these things to double out of the gate. So we're kind of putting in the subscriber thing, this $99 deal, kind of to put the brakes on things. So by the way, the stock we're going to introduce tomorrow, it meets a lot of the criteria we have. It's like in the, I'm not going to give an exact price because I don't want people to kind of, try to figure it out overnight, especially because, the stock trades in Frankfurt also, and I don't want all the Europeans to jump the gun and get into the stock on the Frankfurt exchange. We don't want those guys to get in too early. But that stock, I mean, I think when we announced it, it could, it actually is pretty liquid. It does trade a decent amount of volume. So I don't think it's going to have any crazy moves, but I think there should be an easy path to being a triple within, let's call it, 45 days, because it's definitely undervalued right now. And what I like about it also, I'm going to tell you, is that it's had these moves in the past where it's had big runs of like 5x, 4x very quickly, which is it's good for the stock's DNA. So this stock has that DNA. It's got that, it has sort of a lot of shareholders right now who've been very disappointed over the last couple of years. The stock has been, left, abandoned. It's been, right now is the timing is turned around. So this thing is just like CBDT, actually. CBDT is an example, or some of the others. So let me get to this. Okay. What is this all about? Okay, here's what we're looking for. 5 things. Really 3 things that are important. 1, we're looking for stocks, companies that are going after massive market opportunities, big multi-billion-dollar market opportunities, so that, if they get a small percentage of it, it's going to be a massive success. The company has to be at a key inflection point. So we want companies like, I'll give you an example, like RHT, Relic. It's at the inflection point. The company's been around for, years, 5 years, whatever it is. And, they were kind of a startup 5 years ago or 4 years ago. They tried it, they ran into the usual problems startups run into. Now they got their act together and they're getting these big contracts. And now these contracts are starting to roll in. They had 3 in the last 90 days. That's an inflection point. Or, give an example, Fans Unite. They're launching in the UK market, things like that. So we want things which are right where they're at that tipping point, right when things are about to go parabolic in their growth curve. So we want to get in right at that point. So in other words, I use the example, we want the baby, not the childbirth. A lot of startups, they go through, or companies, they go through this phase where things, they run into problems like any business, right? We want to get them right at the point where they've got things dialed in, contracts start rolling in, they get revenues, et cetera, or it's a mining deal or a biotech deal, and they're about to either get an approval or hit a new market, hit a new discovery, or whatever the number. But you guys understand. So inflection point. Number 3, very important, multiple catalysts. I want to have multiple things, multiple catalysts that can ignite that stock price, that can create that transformational value. 4 is very important, which by definition, anybody who's involved in our program meets that criteria because, they're paying money, they're paying a nice chunk of a change to get into our platform. It's an investment, right? So, we want a CEO that gets it when it comes to maximizing shareholder value. Too many companies, too many CEOs of public companies, especially in the mid-market range, they think, oh, I'm public. That means the market will value my stock, fairly, the maximum, whatever it is. Wrong. No, you got to have an investor. You got to build following. You got to build excitement in the market. You got to get, the word out on your stock to as many people as possible. You got to get eyes on your stock. And that's what we do. That's what Wall Street Reporter does. That's a service we do. We give companies massive visibility. Actually, we're a catalyst, to be pretty candid. One of the catalysts is, in number 3 is basically that's what we do. We take a company which has a great story, and then we give them a massive exposure to institutions, retail, family offices, hedge funds, etc., over a period of 6 months in an organic way. We help them build that following. So what we do, it's a kind of a very sophisticated process. Some people think all we do is live streams. That's how that the live stream is a tiny tip of it. And look, it creates real results. I mean, we're not a pump and dump promoter operation. If you look at any of our companies we've been involved with, they're all the stocks are still around. A lot of them doing well. A lot of them are even doing better since they're no longer with us. Fubo, take a look at Fubo. It's now a New York Stock Exchange company. FUBO, one of the hottest stocks in the market. It's a stock we introduced last year at $8 as an OTC stock. There you go. Number 5, I'm looking for things which are undervalued compared to their peers. So I want things which are trading at cheap multiples. So there's that margin of safety. And I want things, number 6, stocks which are part of big themes, big trends, telemedicine, psychedelics. I would have said, cannabis is actually coming back, so cannabis is pretty good. What else? Cryptocurrencies, blockchain stuff, for sure. Okay, so here's the thing. We're looking to play for big stakes. I want an upside which compensates for the risk, right? With any stock we introduce, I'm looking for things which have a 10x upside, minimum 10x, because otherwise it's not worth it. These stocks are so risky. If you're getting into something just to double your money, it's just not worth it. I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, the risk is too big. You need to have that big 10x to 100x upside and a clear runway where you can get 3 to 5 times your money in 6 months. So a lot of these stocks, so the stock I'm going to introduce tomorrow, I think that one has a very clear runway. I mean, because it's undervalued, because it's catalyst. I think it could be a 3x, in the next 2 months, probably. I said 6-8 weeks, whatever. And it could be a 10 bagger it might take about 10 months, I think. Normally, these 10x moves take about 10 months in kind of the traditional world. Things are happening much faster right now. Look, in the last couple of months, things have accelerated. The market is hot. It's not going to be that way. I mean, I don't think this market, might cool off. You're not going to have 10 baggers, 50 baggers. I mean, CBDT happened. It's a 50x in 4 months. I mean, that's astounding. That might be the biggest, it's one of the biggest winners probably, of all markets in the last year. There's probably only 1 or 2 other companies that have done that. But it's not going to happen like that all the time. You're going to have the normal thing is 3x, 4x, 10x happens after 10 months, a year. But I want something which is right away 3-5 times your money. You got to have that runway. I want things where bottom line is, look, you guys need to make money so you can go into the next deal. That's what we're looking to do. I have this slide here. This is for all you geeks that like, whatever, portfolio management theory, I guess it's called. So basically, you want that asymmetrical setup. The asymmetrical, meaning you're risking $1 and your upside is $100 or $20. It's not the usual thing where you're risking $1 and your upside is $2, which is like typical crappy stocks. No, I want asymmetrical things where you're risking $1 to make 10, 20, 50, $100, 10, 20, 50, 100x return. So that's where you get that life-changing thing where it totally transforms your thing. So by the way, and here's Peter Thiel has got this quote. So my thing is, I had my little quote with all due humble whatever is I want those 10x upside, 100x, but I want the odds stacked in your favor. The odds need to be stacked in your favor. So the next super stocks that we have, that's where everything is really stacked up in your favor. They're undervalued. You're getting in right at that bottom where the stock is, So, when the stock has already kind of got momentum, the odds are not, in my opinion, they're not in your favor. So we've had a couple stocks we introduced which already had made moves. So those are discovery days. So the difference between next super stock and discovery days, next super stocks are the ones where they're at the bottom. They can't get any worse. Discovery day is, they might have already moved up. They might have already doubled, so, I mean, they could still go up, 20x, no problem. But they've already, it's already moved up. So there's a little bit more risk, right? So I want things, I don't like a risk, to be honest with you. Okay, so here's our formula. I'm not going to give you all the details of the formula, but this is part of it. I know all my competition is watching this, so I don't want to reveal too much. But here, we take a stock with a great upside story, and then we amplify that upside story through promotion, which is, increased investor awareness. Just get more eyes on the stock, get institutions involved, get, small hedge funds involved, and retail. And when that increased demand closes that valuation gap. So that's what happens. So yeah, I'll wrap up here. So look, the problem with a lot of these stocks, penny stocks that you guys come across is, they're zombie stocks. They might have a great story, but nobody knows about them, or not enough people know about them, and they kind of stay, unknown. So that's not what happens with ours. We don't have that risk here. It's been de-risked. The zombie scenario has been de-risked and eliminated. Okay, so I'm calling this is our fast lane strategy. I'm giving you a couple of examples. So we have parlay of, here's some examples of what you could have done. Sorry. Okay. What this slide is about is the parlay, the fast lane strategy versus the buy and hold, where you just stick with one stock and you hold it for the next 100 years. You put it in the vault. So I'm giving you a comparison. If you do the parlay, here's what could have happened. I'm giving you the example of the Cytodon. You would have turned that 20 grand into 200 grand and then into 1 million with CloudMD. And then heck, now if you would have, and there we go. Actually, we have a real scenario. What if you did the next 10 bagger, or you did a double? You could have turned that into $20 million. Or if you'd have just held on to your Cytodine last, 18 months ago, you would have paid 50 cents. The stock hit of $10. So you would have been up 20x. And that one, it's come down. I think it's in the five. I think it hit $2 and now it's back to $5. I lost track of it, but basically buy and hold versus the parlay. I think the parlay is a lot more fun. But that's up to you. I mean, you can either buy and hold or you can parlay. It's up to you. This slide, I think, explains it. Do you want to make $1 million or do you want to make $50,000? Which do you prefer? Okay. So again, next super stock, asymmetric setup. I'm looking for that 10x to 100x. The risk is not that big, I don't think. Again, they could all go to zero, but we're kind of getting in where it's a little bit de-risked. And here's your edge. Again, I'm looking for things where the odds are stacked in your favor. The edge is there's a marketing campaign which is going to create a lot of awareness for the stock. So if the stock has a good story, I mean, it's got the fundamentals are there. This is going to be the catalyst that's going to move it. So, you figure it out. Okay, here's another one, 10 grand to 1 million. Again, another example. I'm giving examples. 10K into 10 million. This actually, again, the slide is outdated because in the first one you could have seen how it could have been done from Cytodyn to Cloud into CBDT. You could have been up to 20 million. These are rookie numbers. 10 million is a rookie number. 20 million is what you could have done. So here are the rules. Get in early, do your research, manage your risk, know when to cut losses, cash in, take profits, pull your principal out when these things start running. When a stock is up 5x, pull out your principal. You put in 10 grand, now you're up 50 grand. Sell 10 grand worth of stock, get your principal out, put it into the next deal. And when that 50 grand becomes a 10 bagger, when it goes to 100 grand, pull out another 10 grand. What difference does it make? I mean, what's going to change your life if you have, 70 grand instead of 100 grand profit from 10 grand? So that is the deal over there. Let me go into, I'm going to go into the chart chat right now. Let me just answer a couple of questions. Actually, let me just pull this up. No, I'm going to leave this on the screen for a second. Okay, let me setup is much better. Which one, Dwight? Which stock? Which is the messy setup? I don't know which one you guys are talking about, but okay. Just press the join button. I don't know. It's the join button on the YouTube. Bets. We're going to be talking about bets. We'll pull up the chart. 50 million. Yeah. Wait, 50 million could be done? Could be. There we go. All right. Okay, so let me go into the charts. Let's talk about what we talked about was the past. Let's talk about the future. Okay, we got Big AHK. New member, welcome on board. Let me pull up the chart. Okay, and do a screen share screen. Okay, so we got our stocks over here. Let's look at which we look at. Let's look at NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ. So let me start with that one first. Where was my trend line? I had a trend line. It's missing now. So the NASDAQ, on Friday, it was attempting, a key reversal day. And it's done that once before. It's done that right over here. If you can see on my, where the mouse is right here. This would have been your turnaround. Okay, so this was last week, and it faked everybody out, and it turned into a head and shoulders top. The thing that bothers me is that I've seen other people also say it's a head and shoulders top. So I don't like when too many people see the same thing, because then the market usually does the opposite of what people expect. But it's looking a little bit weak again. So in theory, if the market would have closed above 13,000, this 1213, you'd have gained that momentum again. It's really kind of hanging by threads still. And the NASDAQ is going to determine a lot of the headwinds, tailwinds, etc. Let me do the Bitcoin chart. This one actually looks a little bit better. And where is the trend line? Okay, so the trend line is missing, but I had a trend line here. I'll draw this trend line. It's actually very similar to The trend line is actually very similar to, no, which one was, it was this would have been it, really. Okay, so this would have been your trend line here. As you can see, it bounced off this number a couple of times, and it acted as support resistance a couple of times. So this is a valid trend line. It broke this trend line, and where is it now? I think I had a different number before. Let's call it 53,000, somewhere 52,000. There's a couple of trend lines here. You can fool around with this all you want. There's another one, whatever. I mean, we could do this all day, but the point is this: the Bitcoin is actually acting pretty nicely. You're going to have a little bit of resistance in that 53,000 range, 52,000. If it breaks above 52,500, that's another 1,000 points from here. That will be pretty good. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. I know you don't want to see me. I know you want to see the chart. All right. Sorry about that. There we go. The chat cleaner. Yes. Yeah, so that's why we made it members only. So the chat is only for members. For the $9.90, the $9.99 really separates. It really separates, cleans out all the riffraff. It's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Sometimes, like, you got to pay a few dollars just to avoid all the riffraff. So yes, it is beautiful now. No nonsense. Bet's not getting the attention it deserves. No, it's definitely getting. It's starting. I mean, look, they had no attention before. Now it's starting, but we've had a bad week in the markets, so everybody has been pretty much down. But yes, everything does need attention, and we're gonna have bets on this week. I'm waiting to hear back from the CEO. Yes. Enlarge the chart screen. Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so basically, look, here's the main idea. You saw the thing with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is actually looking pretty good. So that helps. Let me look at. I'm going to pull up GME, GameStop. GameStop is not really so much correlated to what we're doing because it's its own animal. It's not like Tesla or Neo. GameStop is its own like craziness. But here's the thing: the GameStop chart looks pretty good. I mean, this thing looks ready to break out again. Is it work? I mean, this thing looks like it's going to go to 300 again right now. GameStop looks like it's about to break out of this like pennant here. This thing looks like it wants to go to 300. Is it worth 300? No, it's not worth $300. I mean, this thing should be a $5 stock. But yeah, I mean, this thing actually, the chart, well, this one, the short term is not as bullish. Let me see, 15-minute. If you want to get crazy here. Maybe it might, it might dip at this. Okay, so I'm zooming in to 50. The very, very short term is actually, might be a little bit, but no, I mean, the chart looks very bullish. This thing could really break out. I mean, this is like crazy stuff. This is for real. I mean, this is pure speculation. This is like Bitcoin. For complete degenerates, this is like, this thing is like a dumpster fire. Let me look at Tesla, because Tesla and Bitcoin are the leaders of the pack. Tesla's looking pretty horrible. Again, it broke that neckline. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago already. And it broke the moving average. It really looks, I mean, this thing looks like it just wants to go straight down. The next support level in Tesla is right around here, which is $400, 420, 420, 420. Funding secured. Maybe you can do that funding secured buyout, huh? That's where it looks like it's going. Um, I think Bitcoin, yeah, I talk, you know what it is? I don't know if any of you guys are really that old, but if you remember back in the day, in the 80s, in the 90s, well, the 80s was a little bit before my time, but the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, the Nikkei, everybody said the Japanese were going to take over the world, and the Nikkei was driving all markets. The Nikkei was really not even Nasdaq. It's really what Bitcoin is now. So I'm saying Bitcoin is the new Nikkei. So and just like the Nikkei, the Nikkei would close, overnight. So when you came in the morning in New York, you already saw what the Japanese market did, and that's where you would, follow through later. So if the Nikkei was up, the Dow would be up. If Bitcoin, so now what's happening is if Bitcoin is up, Nasdaq is up. It's the same idiots who are trading Nasdaq and Bitcoin, same degenerate gamblers. So, no offense to anybody, but it's pure speculation, right? So the Bitcoin, I think, is leading Nasdaq. The Bitcoin is the tail that's wagging the dog. GBLC, I think we're going to be back this week. Yeah, last week's interview, I gotta say, it wasn't the best interview we've had. Sometimes these things are not great when they start off. People they're not comfortable yet. I don't know, whatever. This video is going to be available only to the members, which is the bronze level, platinum. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pulling off these videos, these chart chats, which is, again, I want to emphasize these videos. This is my opinion. It's not related to the work we do for the company. So there's no official company news that we talk about. There's no, purely my opinion on stocks, the charts, the action in the stock, that type of thing. So it's not part of what we do. And the reason I'm making it for members only and not for the public is, it causes some problems, political issues, various issues when you have these types of opinions out for the public. For people, leaves room for misunderstanding. I'll leave it at that. So, so that we got that. All right. Kevin Wong. Kevin, welcome. Tammy Marchington, welcome. Brock, King of the Degenerates, welcome. I'm gonna smoke. I'm not wearing your. Wait, hold on. Wait, not Brock. Not only did Brock send the T-shirt, I'm not wearing the T-shirt right now. I actually just washed it the other day. Threw it in the laundry. But I get this. I'm gonna light up the cigar. I don't know if I can. My throat is dry from all this talking, but I got your cigar here. The great. So thank you. So I'm gonna put in this little thing here. I'm going to run this at the bottom of the screen. First, I want to say thank you to Tony Da Vinci, also a member of the Platinum Club, not to be confused with a certain other Platinum Club. This is the Stock Club. So Tony, thank you. And of course, the Cigar Mafia. More than the cigars, I like the thank you note. So it's a very nice touch. Nobody has to do that. So all right, so the Tesla, man, it looks like crap. So this thing is really accelerating. It's like the snowball. So Ron Barron, Ron Barron, very smart guy. I think Ron Barron, and I talked about Ron Barron before, and you can look it up. You'll get all the details. He got into Tesla back in the day. I think some crazy number was $5 or $2, whatever the number was. And he sold it when it went up to like 50 or 100. So he basically made a ton of money. He made like 20x, 50x. He sold out at, I think it was 100. It was the number. And this is before all the splits. And then because he thought it was just a pump and dump basically. And then he realized, man, this thing might be real. He bought back into Tesla, I think at 200, which, I mean, that takes a lot of balls to get back into a stock at 200, a stock that you sold at 100 that you originally paid, $5 for. I mean, because psychologically, it's very difficult for investors to do it. It's almost impossible. I couldn't do that. It's impossible for me personally. So he's into it, and he got out of some stock. I think he owns, I don't know, millions and millions and millions of shares. He sold, I think, 20% of his position because it was just become too much of his portfolio. He still thinks it's going to go to 3,000 in 10 years, but in the meantime, he's selling off some stock. So yeah, could Tesla go to 3,000? I don't know. But yeah, this thing is really snowballing. It's looking pretty bad right now. Let me look at the short-term chart. Okay, so short-term chart, in theory, you might have a little bit of a bounce. You might have a bounce, but you're going to have resistance probably right around here, right around the 640 range. So I would say let's call it 650 is really that's going to be your resistance. I'll look at NEO right now because that's another one of these. NEO is the worst one. NEO also, look at this. This is the short term. It looks like it was having a bit of a rally. So maybe it might open up, I think Monday might be a good day for some of these. It might, again, it's almost a coin toss. But the trend is down. Look at this. The NEO chart is horrible. And I've been giving you my negative opinion on NEO for quite a while. If you saw it back in December, basically I would recommend if you like electric, long Tesla, short NEO in a ratio like 10-1, which, yeah, that's about what they're at. So, and you'd have done quite well with that. Believe giving away, which one? I'm not sure. So you're saying I lost the thread. What were you talking? So Bitcoin positive or negative? I don't know. Okay, Rafiq, welcome, Rafiq. That was at a video editing company named. I was a client of a company called Rafiq. Rafiq was a video editing shop in New York. Peter got his T-shirt. He better wear that T-shirt next time. He sold all his Tesla and he bought the trip. Wow. You know what? I gotta tell you something. They're both, you like speculative. They're both, I would say, equal speculation, equal value, equal speculative value. What price did you get in? Okay, so let's go back to the charts. Yeah, I'm gonna rip through this pretty quickly because I need to get out of here. So which ones? I'm gonna go through some of the key ones right now. I'm not gonna cover everything right now. I'm gonna do that different time for members. Listen, all our stocks got hit this week. Everything was taking a beating. What's interesting, the psychedelics on Friday were making a comeback. I don't know what that means, but they were all. They all made a nice turnaround on Friday. I don't know what that's about. It could be, is this the green shoots? The green shoots, as they would say. Delic closed above that moving average. So, it's a very new chart. You can't really read too much into it. It looks bullish. So Delic could have a nice day Monday. Novamind, what's going on with Novamind? Short-term chart. Again, this is like, kind of like it coming back to the support area. It might bounce from this dollar range. Let me go back to the 1 day. Look at this. So $1.50 support. So maybe it goes back here, builds double bottom, builds a bit of a foundation, and it runs from there. So it's a stock. What we introduced Novamind at what price? I think it was right here somewhere, $1.40. So had a nice little run, had a dollar run. It's come down. They got to rebuild the story. It comes back. ICANN, the ICANN trend. Okay, so it's been an uptrend. It looked like it was breaking out last. Was it the week before? It was ready to break out. It didn't make it. We're seeing a lot of that right now. A lot of charts failed breakouts. So it is breaking the moving average, falling off here. Support level 40 cents. It could turn around here though. So here, 50 cents is key support. Looks like that's where it closed above. So that 50-cent range is the key support. Might drop to 40 cents. And then rebuild from there. Again, look at the long-term chart. So this thing really, again, it's been in an uptrend for quite a while, about almost a year now. I don't think it's going to end. So we could see, this should be, I could see this being a $1.50 stock once all the cannabis action starts happening. So VST, we're going to have VST on what day? I think Thursday. They got some interesting news, I think, this week. They got the spin-off happening with the game on. This company's going to have a lot of things happening this year. I mean, this is like, again, talk about multiple catalysts. This is the one. They spawn off fans. I mean, check out the video interview we did. Oh, hang on a second. Let me put up a banner. How can I have a screen without a banner? Yeah, anybody that's watching, if you're not a member or whatever, just press the join, the subscribe button or the like button, the dislike button. Okay. Let's go to, okay, so Victory Square, nice turnaround on Friday. Last week, or I should say 10 days ago, roughly, it hit $1.25. I mean, really, that looked like the breakout. It failed. Again, another failed breakout. That's what's happening in this market. So I'm looking for things which are at the bottom. So any new stock we introduce at this point has to be scraping the bottom. And that's what we're going to have for you this week. It's a stock on Monday. I'm going to announce it. It's a stock that it can't get any worse. It's at the bottom. It's been de-risked. I mean, everything can go to zero, of course. So VST Trip, look at this. Not bad. I mean, very, very strong day on Friday. I mean, and that's the support. The support was 30 cents. This line here is your support, 30 cents. It bounced. It's interesting. A lot of these stocks have bounced right off of their supports. They tested that real support level, that that's key support, and they're bouncing off that. So I have a feeling that this is actually going to be an okay week for stocks, or at least they're stabilizing. They're not going like completely, not going like, crashing to zero. They're stabilizing, but they're going to have to build all these. I think almost every chart we have right now, they're all busted. I mean, they're all going to have to rebuild. It's going to take a couple of weeks minimum, 3 to 6 or even 8 weeks for a lot of these charts to regain that mojo. But the Trip looks pretty good. Let me look at the short term. You know what? Look at this. Look at this half-hour chart as a short term. I mean, that's like a key reversal day right there. I mean, that looks pretty bullish. You might have a very interesting day in Trip tomorrow. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice bullish setup. So tomorrow, Trip might do well. This looks so far like one of the ones that's a good bet for tomorrow if you want to, if you're looking for that type of thing. Bets, they just changed the name, Interactive Games. Okay, so bets, I think they're testing support. They kind of, it looked like it was going to break out, didn't quite make it, so it's just hanging out here. We might test support. It might test 70 cents. We might test 70 cents this week before it can break out. That's what happens. ESC, this one is very interesting. Okay, so ESC, we introduced this at 30 cents. It's already a 10-bagger now, even after the pullback. What was the high of the stock? 450? Amazing. So you would have been up 14x. Is it 14x? Am I doing the math? 13x? 1,300%. So, yeah, back in November, yeah, you could have, let's say you would have sold that CBDT, you would have made like 5x. You could have piled into ES. There's been multiple combinations of getting this 10,000 into 10 million potential. Multiple ways of doing it. ESE, I'll tell you, here's the positive thing about this chart. It's made a pretty strong move, but still, if you look at the kind of the chart, the whole thing, it looks very stable. It's not like a parabolic, one of these straight up rockets like we've seen with some things. It's it's traded in a range. So I mean, it's been a wide band. I mean, it's a very volatile stock. This stock moves like on anything. So both up and down. So which is interesting for those of you degenerate traders. This is a good trading vehicle if you can handle the pressure. Um, let me just answer a couple of questions here. Honest opinions. Yeah, yeah. I'm basically look. I mean, this chart stuff. I'm basically giving you my honest opinion. Like if a stock looks like it's going up, I'll tell you looks like to me, in my opinion, it's going up. If the stock looks like it's falling down, I'm at least I'm going to tell you this thing is, it looks like it's going lower. It's going to test support. And if it looks really bad, I'll say, hey, look, you know what, the thing is crashing. I know some people have gotten upset in the past. They say, oh, he's bad mouthing stocks. Oh, I'm not bad mouthing stocks. I'm telling you, and by the way, those stocks which I was bad mouthing back in, I think it was November, they're lower. They're about 50% lower from November. So, and if you would have listened at that time when I first did this, you would have gotten out of those dead stocks and been able to get into some of the mover stocks that we have. So that's it. I'm just being honest, but that's the reason why I make this thing members only. Right after we're done, I pull this video, goes right into the members only area because I don't want the company I don't want the companies looking at this and saying, oh, how come you're not pumping our stock? How come you're not saying good things about it? Well, I'm just it has nothing to do with the chart. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to just give you my honest opinion. Although it's biased, I'm paid by the company, so I'm definitely biased to some degree, right? 424 is the number, the magic number, the support level for Tesla. Funding is secured. I'm getting too late. I already did that. I'm gonna go to CB. I'm gonna go to that one. Yeah, Trip, very interesting action in that stock. There we go. Trip. We're gonna go to those. Senate. Oh yeah. Yeah, listen, the Senate, what they need to do, listen, what the governments worldwide must do is two things. Number one, the massive stimulus, and number two, permanent lockdown. You got to keep people at home and day trading. Do not let them out of their house. You got to keep them locked up and day trading because that's going to keep the market going. The minute they get out of their house, they go back to work. They're not going to be able to day trade these stocks, and that's not good for us. I'm being honest there. I mean, do you want to be free or do you want to make money? Do you want to be locked up in your house day trading, or do you want to get out of your house? Good question. So yeah, the stimulus package. I don't know. I don't really pay it. It might help. I don't know. People, that's already baked in. That stuff is baked in. People already they know what's going to happen. Okay. Maybe that's why Bitcoin is going up. Oh, look, this guy keeps changing his pictures. Look, he's got the champagne there. He's made a bunch of money in CBDT. He's getting champagne. He's getting a tuxedo. It could be Bitcoin because there's going to be massive inflation. I don't know. Maybe gold. So yeah. Let me see here. Jennifer made 50 grand on ESE. What did you start with, Jennifer? Did you start with 5 grand? It could have been, I mean, because it's up already 10x, right? Wow. Buying the dips. Wow. Yeah, you know what, to me, like right now, like I would wait for stocks personally, like I wouldn't buy the dips because like you might be catching a falling knife with a lot of these things. I'd wait for things to really stabilize and build a base. So again, my opinion only. Okay, so let me go to the ESC chart. So the ESC is very stable looking chart. So it's, I know it's had a big move, but it's not, it looks, I mean, this thing looks like it kind of reminds me of what I said about CBDT back when it hit $1. I said when CBDT hit $1, I said, hey, this thing still looks like it's got a lot of fuel in the tank. And it looks very comfortable here. I'm saying the same thing about ESC. I think this thing has a lot of fuel in the tank. I mean, I can't imagine this thing doubling for me. It could hit double. I mean, it could go to $10, but it doesn't look like it looks pretty stable here. So it looks like it's building a base here. Normal pullback from 450 to 250. That's perfectly normal. Because look, where did it start from? The breakout. Because here's what you want to measure. The breakout happened roughly at $1.50, right? So you're talking about a $3 run. A normal retracement would be at least $1.50. So $3, or maybe Canadian stocks usually drop harder, so it could be that 275, 250, which is kind of where we're at, but it bounced off there. So the ESC looks pretty good. Cabin actually also, I was looking at this chart. This looks pretty decent for all the market volatility. It had this crazy, look at this crazy drop. I don't know if that's a real number. I don't know if this is a real, it might have been an error on the chart, but the stock is pretty stable. I mean, the Cabin is looking okay. It's kind of building this base. We got to see what happens. It's looking for some direction. Okay, here is the chart of the day. All right, let me get some water. All right, should we do CBDT now, or should we save last? Should we save CBDT for last? Okay, Harvinder, welcome. This guy's the degenerate boat. Wow. This guy's buying a 200-foot yacht with a helicopter pad. 2 helicopter pads, actually. Relay. We're going to be back this week, I think, this week. Not... Yes. Oh, this guy sent me a cake. I had something in the mail. I hope I gotta get to the mailbox. What is? I don't know what this is. This king cake. King. What? I hope it's not poison. If you don't see me next week, you'll know what happened. It's blame it on Ethan. This is where the wealth is built. Can you? Yes, you can. Yeah, Cabin changed the name. I like this name, Liquid. I mean, I didn't realize Cabin is actually bank spelled backwards. That's what it was about. Fans, yeah. Okay, so she bought 50,000 at $1.40. Okay, so like right in the breakout. She sold at $2.40. A flipper. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So here's the thing, right? Because this is what happens. That's what happens. You never know with these things, right? The Mardi Gras. It's like are you in New Orleans? Must be in New Orleans. Oh, where's Shafin? I don't know where the guy is. I haven't seen Shafin. I think I got his email. I gotta send it out to him. I gotta contact him, send him his happy. And we're gonna get the live reviews. Okay, I'm gonna make a note. Sorry, I've been distracted. I'm gonna make a note to see if I can. Shafin, if you are watching, email me, contact me so I can get your address and mail you it's a brand new one in the box. I got 2. They sent me 2 by accident. I was supposed to get 1. They sent me 2. All you gotta do is hook it up. Okay. Okay. The PTSD for the shrooms. Okay. Shafin is definitely the man. Where is he? He's MIA right now. Okay, so I'm gonna go to CBDT lab. I'm gonna save that for last. You know what? Just because Okay, so Hap B. Oh my God! Speaking of Hap B, man, this thing got a beating. I mean, it had a run right after we introduced this. It dropped, I mean, way below 7 cents. Okay, so the support level in the stock is right here. This kind of like a 60 cent range. If you're getting into it here at 60 cents, I mean, that's a pretty good position to be in, I think. Again, my opinion, not investment advice. It could go to zero. You got to check out that interview with the CEO. This company, if they can get some traction, they got to sell 50,000 units. If they get 50,000 units, I mean, those are my numbers. And it's a consumer product, so that's 50,000. That's like nothing. If they get those 50,000, that's going to put this on track to be like $1 billion company, I believe. Market cap. I mean, this is a stock that I believe could be a 20-bagger. All they need is a little bit of traction. They got to get some traction. We got to see what happens, right? So, and we're going to see that basically. I mean, this is going to be it's a binary event. Either it happens in the next couple of months or it doesn't happen. So, I mean, basically the next 3 months, I think the stock either goes to, well, I don't think it's going to go to zero, but either but also look, these people can hit road bumps. There's production issues. I'll give it 6 months. Let's just say 6 months. So in 6 months, this thing is either going to have traction. I mean, this could be either a $5, $10 stock, or it's going to be 20 cents. It's going to be a busted story. So I think that's a good, so you're risking 50 cents to make $10, $5. Good trade-off. That's the way I look at it. Relay. Again, breakout, try to make a breakout attempt, failed breakout, consolidating in this range. It's kind of hanging out here. It's kind of hanging out. It's looking for some direction. So where is it going? Let's look at the short term. You know what? You look at the short-term chart, we might have a nice bounce. I mean, if I look at this 30-minute chart, you're looking at a setup. It's like a double bottom. Looks like a setup for a big move. Relay looks good. FCO, I got to pull up FCO because we got a lot of fanatics here. FCO broke the trend line. You can see this moving average. This is the short-term chart, 30-minute chart. You might touch this 15-cent range right here. That's going to be your key support. So you had your key support really at 21 cents. Key support broke that. 15 cents could bounce from there. Again, these things, they have different levels, right? They might stop and turn around on one of those levels like anything else. We don't know, so up until then, we don't know. We had fans on Friday. Great things happening. Again, we introduced this at 20 cents, ran to, what is it, 250, I think? 240. Nice normal pullback. I mean, you've seen this with fans over and over and over again. This thing always pulls back. It's like a broken clock. Yeah, this thing's always doing that, always shaking people out. Time it happens. Although I did think, once it broke that $2, I really did think it had a chance of going to $3, $4. Yeah, Happy. I think Happy is, I mean, right now, it looks the bottom, it looks pretty close. I mean, it looks like it's, they got some good people. That is true. SKT. By the way, anybody who's in the platinum, okay, so platinum level member, if you're platinum level member, please email me so I can send you your Telegram link. Your Telegram, the link so you can join the Telegram channel and get the new stock in advance tomorrow. And that's going to be also announced on the YouTube channel. So we're going to put out a video in the morning. So you'll get both the Telegram and the YouTube. So you'll get an alert. Make sure you sign up for notifications or whatever they call it. Definitely check back into YouTube tomorrow morning, 9:45, 10 a.m. or so. And about an hour later, it'll be released to the bronze level members also on YouTube. So everybody who's watching now, all of you watching who are, in the bronze, whatever, you'll be able to get the new stock tomorrow. And then, we'll announce it late in the day for, the hoi polloi, the unwashed masses. It's like the Roman Colosseum. First you have the senators, which is, you guys, you're sitting in the good seats. Then you have the rabble, who are sneaking in, who are watching through, they're getting into at the bottom there with the animals and all that stuff. Yeah, they got some great stuff happening. Stock is, it's doing the normal thing. Let me just pull something up here. Okay, so what's going on with fans? So your support level really is this dollar. Dollar is your key support. I think it's going to hold here. I think it's going to bounce in this dollar range for a little while and rebuild. It's got to, it took a big hit from 240 to buck. It's got to really, it's going to take it maybe a month or two to rebuild to get the mojo back. Could happen sooner. You never know these things, but based on looking at this chart, it's got to repair a lot of damage. So it's going to take a while. It's going to take some time. Let's see here. Peak looking pretty good. Short-term chart looks like we see them. This actually looks pretty strong. It looks like we could see a massive. This is a very bullish chart pattern right here. Very bullish. I think we could see a break. I think this could make a breakout attempt tomorrow. So 280, that's your moving average, your 50-day. 280, it's got to break above that. Once it breaks 280, you could see significantly higher. And then, you could see an attempt at $3. That would be pretty crazy. Look at this. Look at this massive comeback. I like this peak fintech. SHG, almost a similar look. Massive sell-off. Like a lot of these stocks had massive sell-offs, and then bargain hunters came in, and the market established new value. Again, this is a bullish setup. You got a head and shoulders bottom, and it's above the moving average. So let's go through the charts. Is anybody keeping notes? Which ones are looking good for tomorrow? What did I say? I think ESE. We saw Peak is looking good for tomorrow. You got SHG looking very good for tomorrow. I think, what else? Was it Trip? Did I say Trip? I can't keep track. Anybody's watching. There was another stock I mentioned. Okay, Logic. Let's go to Logic. Logic, another one. It broke through that moving average, 50-day. Let me go through the, let me see, 1 hour short term. This is looking like a QRS, and Logic moves just like that. This thing could go to $8 in a day, so you could see a massive move in Logic tomorrow also. Bullish setup. RHT. Again, I expect this to be one of the big stories of the year. The stock took a beating the last couple of days. Look at this. We got the 1 hour chart, the short term. What's going on? Comeback attempt. Looks like it's making a comeback attempt. The 60 cents looks like that's kind of a, really, so you had the big support at 70 cents. It broke that. 60 cents is key support. I think this is this a V-shaped bottom? It could be. It looks pretty good at these prices. This chart does not look good. This is not the longer term chart is not bullish. Looks like it could drop a little bit further. We'll see what happens tomorrow. The short term chart actually looks pretty good on that. So yeah, and I think fundamentally they have a great story fundamentally. Okay, I'm not gonna cover everything. I'm gonna leave on what am I gonna leave with? CBDT. What who else? Okay, let's look at the CBDT. This is the daily. Let's look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour. And let me see. How about if we do 30 minutes? Okay, it's pretty interesting. What if we go shorter term? Okay, even more interesting. Okay, I'm going to end on this one because my throat is parched. I'm waiting. Relic. Okay, Relic looks pretty good actually. So you saw that already. Okay. Fans. Yeah. Well, okay. So yeah. The both. Okay. So you got two guys. You get Darius. You got Scott. Yeah, those guys are look. Yeah, they're working. But look, the one thing is they're not hype guys. They're not they're accountants by trade. They're CPAs, which is actually good to be in the business they're in. So they're not they're very conservative. So they're not like saying it's going to be a billion. I wish I'm trying. I'm squeezing these guys so many times. I'm trying to get them to say that, but they're not saying those things. So yeah, they're very conservative. So you're gonna have to just watch what happens. Simple Jack. All right, great picture. Welcome. Visby will be back soon. I'm hoping. Is Yellen good for the market? I don't know. I these people I don't really keep track of them. Okay, so let's go CBDT. All right. So where should we start? Okay, so short term, this looks pretty good. Looks like it made a nice turnaround attempt on Friday. You got to realize that what happened with the stock. I mean, the breakout from $1. I mean, it was really insane. It started doing this. No, actually, from 70 cents. When it made that breakout from 75 cents, 70 cents, it just went like really pretty much straight. And then, just it was a little bit too much, I think, in 2 days, right? 3 days. And, but the thing is, though, the decline, if you notice the angle, look at this angle, the angle of this downtrend, the retracement, it's not been a straight line. It's not been steep. It's been managed, which means it's been very it's been very relaxed, which means that you had a little bit of selling and kind of excited, but then people are realizing, well, you know what, this thing is actually pretty good. You had buyers come in, and I think the market's found the bottom here. I haven't been saying too much about CBD the last. I mean, I didn't. I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I did. Where's on Telegram? I said at I think it was at 90 cents. At 90 cents, I put out a Telegram saying, "Hey, this thing looks like it's bottomed out," which was right here, 90 cents. I said, "Hey, it looks like it's bottomed out, or it's finding a bottom." And they had news that came out also. Sure enough, the stock goes lower. So there you go. So I could be wrong again. And if I am wrong, the next support level is in that 56 cent, 60 cent range. So you're about, 15 cents from the bottom, maybe. But I think, look at this. It looks like a head and shoulders bottom right here. So I think tomorrow could be another bullish day. So I'm going to add CBDT to that list tomorrow. So I think tomorrow we could see, those green shoots, early breakouts from a bunch of key stocks, which is pretty good. All right, there's some Cubans. All right. Which ones? Which good ones? Clem, welcome. CBDT, the gaps. Yeah, the gaps. 60 cents support. Okay, yeah, I have to agree. 60 cents really is key level of support. Is CBDT going to test that support? It could. Yeah, it's sort of like in this kind of range. We're gonna have to see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things happening here, and I think the big story is those clinics. The big rollout. I mean, that is, in my opinion, the reason to own the stock. It's not the lab stuff. It's not the COVID stuff. Whatever. I mean, I know it's whatever. I know everybody loves it. The clinics, the Canadian rollout, the deal with Rexall. That's going to be the story that's going to move this. So the gap closed here. So this 70 cent, whatever that thing closed, it could hit 60 cents, 50 cents. But I think this thing is starting to stabilize. We got to really see it. I mean, this thing is pretty interesting. Here's the good news. And I'm going to leave on this message. With CBDT, what makes it interesting is this. Once it builds a base, which I believe it will, once it builds that base, the next run is going to be, I think, incredible. I mean, this thing, once it makes a base, you're going to have, and it starts moving back up, you're going to have all sorts of people coming out of the woodwork jumping into the stock, because there's a lot of people who missed that move that from 50 cents to 250 or from a nickel to 250. So they're going to, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be, there's a lot of eyes on the stock. Okay, so CBDT is one of these, real, it's got a fan following, and you're going to have a lot of people who are going to jump into it once they are, once this thing regains its mojo. We're going to have to see what happens over the next week or so. I want to see if I can get Steve back. But yeah, the good news is that, these stocks, I always believe that anything, stocks always go back to their old level. Unless, they're complete failures. They usually go back to the old level. So this thing is going to go back pretty quickly. Okay. Yeah. All right. So on that note, I'm going to leave it on that. I'm going to come back on Tuesday night, I think. Tuesday night. We're going to do this live stream about 3 times a week for members, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the market. And we're going to go through all the stocks, every single stock. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens Monday and Tuesday. And I'll kind of give you the update of what the charts look like then. It'll be very interesting to see if these 4 kind of leaders turn around. CBDT looks good for tomorrow. ESC, PKK, SHG, and somebody else. I forgot which one it was. Yeah, anybody that's trading 10 million shares a day, it's got a lot of fans. So I think once this thing starts moving again, the next move up is going to be like crazy. Could it pass 250? I don't know, maybe, but I think I have a feeling it's at least. I have a feeling like CBDT should probably go back to $1.50. I think it's going to make a move to $1.50. It's got to do that at least probably the next, I don't know, month or two once it rebuilds. So, all right. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, Trip. That's right. Trip is the other one. So CBDT, ESC, PKK, SHG, and Trip. Those charts are looking pretty good for tomorrow. Last time I said this, I was wrong on 3 out of 2 or whatever the number was, and one of them did very well. So let's see what happens tomorrow, and you can all sudden message on Twitter saying, dead wrong or whatever. But yeah, it could be. We might be seeing the bottom. We're pretty close. I think market might drop a little. What's the bottom on Nasdaq? Maybe 11,000. Could test 11. It's not a lot more to go. So I think a lot of the pain has already been felt. All right. On that note, I want to thank everybody for joining, especially all the members, platinum, bronze, all that stuff. I'll see you in the next live stream later in the week.